Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday morning interview at Mortgage Coach. My name is Dave Savage, founder and CEO of Mortgage Coach, and today we have Wally Elibiary. Wally, what's up, my man?
Hey, man, living the dream.
Living the dream. Hey, I like that backdrop. I saw the making of that on Facebook, and it looks awesome.
Thanks, man. I get to see it every day. The more you learn, the more you earn.
I love that. Well, hey, that's one of the reasons why we do these interviews. We've got the Tuesday call, we've got the Friday mastermind, and then in between, I'm doing all these ad hoc unplugged interviews because we know that the most successful loan officers execute the best. They love to learn and they love to lead. So Wally, I'm going to get into the interview in just a minute. I do want to show everybody something on my screen. So look at your desktop real quick. A lot of this interview is just going to be video, unplugged interview with Wally, but I do want to remind folks that we have the Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind. I'm in the Facebook group right now. Emmett just posted 23 minutes ago. He wants to know, I've got a question. Those of you doing open houses, paperless open houses, what size screen is the bigger screen worth it? So if you could be sure to give Emmett some feedback on that. We've had a number of other great questions. Someone asking for recommendations on a 20-hour course for MLO. We've got the one I wanted to highlight, or two I wanted to highlight, is check out the post. Todd Bookspan was winning by me with Gary V a couple weeks ago. I wanted to shine a light on this post. I put this up yesterday. I interviewed Jeremy Fortier last week, loan officer that's up 7% over same time last year, going through what he's doing to kill it. And I also did a LinkedIn post. So make sure you check that out if you're on today's call. Give it a look. If you like it, give it a like, and please share it. Again, you can click right through to it and go to the actual LinkedIn post. And on LinkedIn, the video is actually integrated into that LinkedIn post. My screen is going a little slow. By the way, Wally, have you got a chance to check out that Jeremy interview yet?
Absolutely loved it. So if you have not seen that, I highly recommend it. Biggest thing I love about Jeremy is what he said. You got to work smarter and not harder. And but he's been working his tail off. And I can't remember which golfer said it, but they said the harder I work, the luckier I get. So it's a great video. I've personally listened to it. Then we've got a team mastermind next week that we'll all listen to it together again.
Cool. By the way, just remind everybody, in this particular case, he was saying you got to work harder and smarter in today's difficult market. So I am going to stop sharing my screen. We're going to get into the interview with Wally. Do want to remind everybody, if you have questions for Wally, you can put those in GoToWebinar. There's a place for questions in there. And if you just have comments throughout the call, let us know what your takeaways are. So Wally, let's set the stage, because I think most of our community has heard from you before. But if you could just tell us what market you're in, a little bit about your production, and then I'll get into the questions today.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is my 20th year of being a mortgage loan officer, and I'm in Dallas, Texas. What most people kind of ask or want to know, how did I do my last 4 years? And 2013, I was doing 36 million, then went to 45 million, then 80 million, then roughly about 100 million. Then last year, we did 80 million last year in production here in Dallas, me and my two production partners. So it's been a great climb. And the biggest thing is, man, Mortgage Coach and total cost analysis and TCAs, which we'll talk about today, has been absolutely huge help to do that. Mortgage Coach is a team standard. Absolutely no fans or buts, and the whole team understands how important that is, and the green Hulk in me comes out if I ever find out that a file has been sent out to a family without a TCA. So we make sure to do that, and they make sure to do that.
Yeah, well, you do a great job, and I'm going to put a few links to past interviews I've done with Wally down below. So look, watching this on YouTube, look in the description below. A couple of Wally's best interviews. And I've interviewed you now at least a half a dozen times, and they're some of the most viewed interviews every single year, and I also get the most compliments. So thanks, man. So how are you doing this year? So if you could just cast how it's different this year for you and your team, and then let us know how you're doing from a production standpoint.
Yeah, we're up 30%. So up 30%. So we did 80 million last year in production. I think it was like 265 loans or something like that. 265 families helped. And I think last year, first quarter, we had 56 closings in the first quarter. Last year, we're already at 71 closings in the first quarter. And we're looking at about a $9 million April. So April, May are really building. A lot of it, candidly, which we'll talk about here in a second, is TCAs, annual mortgage reviews with clients, and reaching out to that database. If you watched Todd Duncan's Sales Mastery last year, I got to spend some time with Dave, and also Todd, and I was on stage with Todd, and I was the Yahoo that opened my mouth and said that I was going to help 500 families this year, and then I smarted off to Dave, and we made a video about it, and it went kind of viral. And then every single person from every mortgage loan officer that I see, or branch manager, or even on social media, is touching base with me. And to me, honestly, I want to thank everyone for that. That public accountability is very motivating to me, and it's something it pushed me to be a better loan officer. If you know anything about my business, it's been a lot of lead gen. It's been a lot of hustle. It's been a lot of realtor business. And since September of 2017, we're really, really focused on how to grow your business smarter, not just harder. So we definitely work our tail off, but we work smarter and harder, and that's why you see a 30% increase in production this year.
Love it, Wally. So if you could, tell us how many realtors are you calling on? Okay, a couple people commented that my voice was going in and out. Do I sound okay, Wally?
No, you're kind of glaring in and out a little bit.
Okay, I'll try a different mic in a second next time around. Well, hopefully you can hear me well enough for this, because Jeremy mentioned that he's calling on more realtors on a monthly basis this year versus last year. I think it was in the last 5 minutes of his video, he said, hey, I'm separating all my realtors into A, B, C. A's are the people that I did a transaction with. I don't know if it was the past 30 days or 60 days. He's calling them weekly. And then he said, B's are people that have referred me in the past, and C's are the people that I want to refer me. But he was saying his advice was every mortgage coach should have a realtor call list of 100 realtors. Some they're calling monthly, some they're calling by, twice a month. What are you doing? How big's your call list, and how often are you calling it?
We work a little bit different approach. And I'm not saying we do it right or wrong. It's just what works for us. So every single Friday we reach out to, and we got this from Todd Duncan's Mortgage Boot Camp, and Cody Hardridge was talking more about it. But the biggest thing is we reach out to every single Friday of real estate teams that we work with that are committed to using our model and our business every single Friday, and ask them the simple questions that Todd taught us, which is, who are you showing this weekend? That if I was helping them doing a TBD approval or pre-qual, I could strengthen your offer with a stronger offer and walk them through that. But that's a total of 17 real estate teams and solo agents. So we work with 9 real estate teams that we reach out to every Friday, all the buyers agents, all 9, and then 8 other solo agents. But one thing that we do every single Thursday is we send.
Real quick, Wally. I want to make sure I heard something. When you said you reach out to the teams, you're not only reaching out to the team, you're reaching out to every single one of the buyer agents on the team. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So I mean, if you want to look at a more accurate number, instead of just looking at teams, we look at it just specifically teams. If you look on average, you'll have, say, 4 to 5. If it's just take 5 buyers agents per team, and there's 9 of them, so that's 45 plus the other 8. So you're looking at 53 actual calls. We divide and conquer. So divide and conquer. I am making those calls. Christopher and Shane are also making those calls. So if in the old days when I try to do everything myself, I hit a ceiling of achievement, and I can maybe make those calls once every couple of weeks or so, or sometimes I would send a text. So a total of 53 agents that we reach out to every single Friday.
Okay, so you're casting a wide net, And then also, I think you said this in a last event, but you're intentional about working with teams. Like that's part of your niche strategy is to work with real estate teams versus individual realtors. Is that right?
Absolutely. I mean, in 2013 when I was doing 36 million in production, I was working with like 44, 45 realtors, and you hit a ceiling of achievement. You start getting capped out. My weekends were not respected. My evenings weren't respected. I was a commodity. So then 2015, we went to 3 real estate teams and just walked away from those 43 realtors, those individual agents. And we established relationships with 3 real estate teams. Then it went to 4 real estate teams when we did 80 million. And we just focused on like, hey, I mean, if you look at any kind of market center, any kind of real estate office, 65, 70% of the realtors in there might do 1 deal a quarter, if that. So if we're going to spend our time away from my wife, Nikki, our 2 boys, Braden and Alex, and I'm going to be in the office working, I've got to focus on that time to be the most dollar productive. So we shifted our business model from working with solo agents to mega agent teams. Then Josh Metal, big shout out to Josh. He gave a speech at Fairways Dream Big Conference end of fourth quarter of last year, and he said, "Who's your avatar real estate professional? What do they look like? What does their business look like? And what value adds would help them grow their business, or why would they be attracted to you?" And he goes, focus on those specific avatar agents. And for me, an avatar agent for me, and just putting this out there, an avatar agent for me is somebody that closes 75 million a year or more, and that has a lead generation vehicle to their business. Very small one. Most teams have a 10% of the business comes from lead gen. But then there's a mega agent leader that wants to be coached, wants to be shown the next level. How can they get to that next level? How can they improve their sales skills, their leadership skills? And I come in and I coach as a John Maxwell leadership coach, the mega agents on how to improve and recruit and build a bigger business while not sacrificing lifestyle. Then my team and I manages loans. So we stay in our lane of what we're really, really good at. And everybody out here in these other lanes that do these phenomenal things here, good for them. And like, kudos to you, congratulations. It's not us. So we focus on our avatar mega agents.
So I want to show my screen real quick, and I want to speak to that strategy. So I hope the takeaway for everybody isn't to say that Wally's strategy is the best, and that's the agent I should focus on. That's what you hopefully are hearing is the intention that he has. By the way, when he explained what he does, he also, you notice how he just naturally explained why he did it. And by the way, notice that he not only explained why he did it from a business standpoint, he described just naturally, this is just the way the guy rolls. He described it from an emotional standpoint that tied it back to his family. So if you're looking at my screen right now, you're seeing real world scripts. You got Jeremy, the time to work smarter and harder. And I can tell you that Jeremy's agent profile is different. He casts a wider net. But I want to shine a light on my most recent interview with Shane Kidwell. Shane was a full-time fireman and part-time loan officer. Last year was his first full-time year in the mortgage business, and he did $40 million. First full-time year in the mortgage business, and he's on track to do over 60 million this year. He's outpacing last year. Now Shane's avatar agent is someone that's, millennial, someone that's like him, that's high energy. He's got a different avatar for a client. But the thing is, he is very intentional about it. Stu Sweet out of Berkeley, California, top producing branch manager, doing over 50 million in personal production, running a branch that does over $200 million, killing it. His avatar agent is something different also. He focuses on online agents that do a lot of online business. So hopefully the takeaway is 2 things. One, you need to be clear on the type of agent profile that you want to focus on in niche. And I think you need a call list of 100 or more people monthly that you're calling. Some of those you're calling weekly, some of those you're calling bi-weekly, and some of those you're calling monthly. But that would be kind of minimum standards. Do you align on that, Wally?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd say one thing that we do every single Thursday. So we send our mortgage status report to our listing agents every single Thursday. The buyer's agent, listing agent, the title company, and the borrowers. They know where we are, if the appraisal's in, the title works in, that the file submitted to underwriting, do we have CD out, LE out, like where are we in the process? Every single Thursday they get an update. That team standard, again, is that Thursday goes out by noon on Thursday. The next team standard is Shane, my production partner, Christopher, and myself. We have our allocated group of listing agents that are on our deals. And we've got 41 closings this month for $9 million. So, and I want to say like 35 of them are purchases. So there's 35 listing agents that we do business with at all on the other end of that we reach out to on every single Thursday. And all I'm doing is I'm doing table touches. If you weigh tables, you know what I'm talking about. You just touch your table. Just say, I just want to let you know, did you get the email? Did you have any questions? How's your seller doing? Has your seller found a home yet? Where are they in the process? With your permission, may I have the opportunity to grow a relationship with your seller? And every single Thursday that we do that, we're gaining relationships by purposefully hitting that target audience every single Thursday. And we're coming from contribution. So if you're a loan officer out there and you're not prospecting to the listing agent on the other end, purposefully and giving, you're leaving so much opportunity on the table. And this listing agent gets to see how awesome you are for 20 days or 30 days or 45 days, however long your closing is. And if you're purposefully touching them every single week, then it's a huge advantage. And one thing that Neil and I do, are my chief of technology now for the branch, is we find them on Facebook and we target them on Facebook through Team Wally Home Loan. So there's a way that you're reaching out purposely through the phone. They're reaching out to use an agent legend, which is a program through video texting to them also on a weekly basis. And then we're targeting them through Facebook. And that's like, it's a huge opportunity that you're leaving on the table if you're not doing it.
So I want to review a couple of things. I want to bring in a question from the audience. Two things. One, also in that interview with Wally, he actually gave his scripting for what he says when he calls a new agent to get a meeting. Wally, be ready. I'm going to ask you for your scripting on the weekly call. I think you kind of gave us the table touch. You gave us the gist of it, but I am going to ask you to script that out in a minute here. So be working that up for me. But here's the deal, guys. One of the things when I listen to Jeremy's interview is that half of it is just how he shows up, the energy, the excitement, the number of people that he's talking to. And I can't remember exactly what he said, but it's like he is just there to serve. And if they say no or they don't have an issue, he's always jab, right hook. He's coming into every single call with not like, I'm going to say one thing and I'm either going to get them or not. It's like he's coming into every single call, boom, boom, boom. And yeah, did you get that? And so I just want you guys to think when you show up for those real estate conversations, and by the way, for Jeremy, for Wally, they got this down. They've done it hundreds of times, thousands of times. Wally's and his team have created thousands of total cost analysis. And so when you've done the same thing so many times, you get really, really, really good at it. So for those of you that on this call, and I know there are loan officers on this call that do not have a call list of 100 realtors, you are not having 20 or more realtor conversations a week, whether they're, A, friendly, B, sort of friendly, C, targets. You're not doing it enough. So it just doesn't feel comfortable. So Wally, if you could, let's just give them a roadmap so they know exactly what to do when they call a realtor. So ring.
So first, I'll kind of, just with your permission, I'll explain how I tee myself up and how we sell ourselves before we even go into contract. We do something called a TBD approval. So we gather the client's documentation up front before they find a home, not to say after they find a home. We send all the client's documents through underwriting, a true underwriter. I've got 4 in my branch, 4 underwriters that actually review the documents and issue an underwriting approval on the front end. So the first thing that comes out is my buyer's agents all 110% trained. For them to be able to, us to accept business from them, they always have to CC us on the offer to the listing agent. That's the first thing. They CC the team email. Our model from there is we respond with a video email that goes directly out to them, say, to that specific listing agent, walking them through is, hey, please take a look at the pre-qualification letter. Oh, it's not. It's a TBD approval from my underwriting team because we've done this, and this. And then a phone call goes out. Then a video text goes out to that listing agent when the buyer's agent's making the offer on that property. So let's just say we win that contract. Awesome, great. Before we even call the buyer to lock them in and ready to disclose a loan, I make the phone call, or my team and I make the phone call, Shane, Christopher, and myself, out to the listing agent and say, hey, thank you. Oh my gosh, so much. Thank you for accepting our offer. I know you had 9 other offers on the property. Just out of curiosity, why did you accept ours over the other 8 offers? The listing agent's response 9 out of 10 times is, well, you already had your underwriting approval. You could close in 7 days or 10 days. It gave my seller a lot of confidence. The simple question from there to tee myself up is, all right, just out of curiosity, I'm always kind of wondering like what other mortgage lenders do and how I can improve myself, Miss Listing Agent. Kind of walk me through it. Does your personal lender that you refer your clients to, your family, do they do a TBD approval up front? And when you go make an offer for one of your buyers, Miss Listing Agent, do you have that kind of firepower? 7 out of 10-ish is no, they don't. Okay, well, awesome. Well, let's do this. I tee it up from there. I want to spend the next 30 days and consider this my job interview. Consider this my interview with you. Don't watch my video, what I do for the next 30 days. Don't just listen to my audio of me telling you what I'm gonna do. So watch me for the next 30 days. My team and I really want to show you how we add value to realtors. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna reach out to you every single Thursday. Keep you in the loop where we are in the process. And I'm going to put that in a PDF format that you can just simply hit the forward button directly to your seller, so you can they can see that you're being proactive in reaching out to them. So would that be okay with you? 10 out of 10 times, of course, they're going to say yes. Yeah, sometimes they'll say, please CC my transaction coordinator. What's great about that is, okay, great. Well, if I do that for the next 30 days and I go this extra mile for you as a listing agent, with your permission, do you feel I've earned the opportunity to have a coffee with you? Do you feel I've earned that opportunity? The response is yes, absolutely. I'd say we're batting roughly somewhere in the neighborhood of about 60-ish% of after closing, after a 30-day job interview, then 60-ish% we're getting a coffee with them. Sometimes after closing, they forget you and they don't take your calls anymore. But to answer your other question though, so you said ring, ring, ring. So you're asking me to do the role play script for my Thursday calls, or do you want to unravel what I just kind of shared first?
Yeah, well, the question that came in from the audience was literally, what does that Thursday call sound like? And I wanted to give them the script for it.
Yeah, you bet. So ring, ring, ring. Hey, is this Dave?
This is Dave.
Okay. Hey, Dave, it's Wally with Fairway Independent Mortgage. How are you, sir?
I'm good, but I'm busy, Wally.
No, that's totally fine. So remember last week I reached out to you, and when you accepted our offer, I told you to reach out to you every single Thursday and keep you in the loop. Well,
no, that's
this
right.
is what
that's
I'm doing.
Right. Could you make it quick, please?
Yeah, absolutely. No worries. I get you're really busy. So I just want to make sure, sometimes our emails get stuck in spam. Did you get my email that gave you an update where we are in the process?
I did. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. You bet. Well, sounds good. I just wanted to make sure you got it so you can forward that directly to your seller. With that being said, is there anything else I can do to serve you or answer for you, or does your seller have any concerns about the process so I can help you give him or her reassurance?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, well, great. Well, this is my personal cell phone I'm calling you from. Do me a favor, just program it in your phone for me. With that being said, I don't care if it's evenings, weekends, whatever. Always feel free to reach out to me, and I'm here to serve you. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
All right, my friend. I'll talk to you next Thursday. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. So I want everybody to hear a couple things. So one, he never like, oh, I'm sorry. There was never this like, sorry for bugging you. He actually said something to acknowledge that I heard you, but he was just there to do what he knows that agent wants. And then, by the way, that was brilliant. Driving the speed call button, and there were just so many powerful subtleties. And every time I interview a top producer that's closing, Wally's closing obviously 80, on track to do 100, but really, over 50 million, they just have it down. There's this confidence, there's this drive. They just keep going, and you're just a master. And I know you want to say something about spin selling, so go for it.
If you have not read the book Spin Selling, go read it. Everything that Dave just said and what we do, and every book, we read a book a month as a team, and we take things from that book, and then we start implementing. That was a script that was created from Spin Selling. Neil Reckman, absolutely amazing author, and he just makes it really, really simple. So if you want to learn that, read the book.
Love it. Thank you, Wally. All right, so we could go on and on this, but I do want to get into some of the things that have helped you not just have a flat year, but be up 30%. I mean, because let's face it, in today's market, at least 50% of loan officers are either flat or down, less than 50%. And by the way, it's probably less than 20% are having an up year over last year, because volume certainly isn't there. By the way, I would love for anybody who's having an up year, if you could just post what percentage you are up in questions. I'd love to just get a feel for it. I'm up 10%, 20%, 40%, whatever it is. If you guys could give Wally and I some feedback on that, we would love it. I want to get into one of the reasons why. And so if you could talk about something you're doing different this year, annual reviews, and give us the results that you're having. So what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What results are you getting so far for annual reviews?
You bet. So here's kind of the coolest thing about it. And I'll kind of go with three major legs that we have this on. The coolest thing about it to me is, perfect. You probably can't see that. I have 17 appointments a day on my calendar. 17 appointments on my calendar. You know how many of those I set up myself? I come in the office and I've trained my loan officer assistant that goes through and manages my calendar. Every single high trust interview, every single lead to app, every single mortgage coach total cost analysis that we're reviewing, every single annual client review that we're reviewing, he reaches out to the client. And his script, David's script, is simply, hey, Wally wants to connect with you today, but he wants to be respectful to your calendar. He doesn't want to call you when you're in a meeting or time with away with your family. What's your world kind of look like? Today, for a call, he's available at this time to this time. And I don't know about you and everybody else, I absolutely sucked horribly at time blocking. I failed at it every single time. Todd Duncan would just try to hammer it in my head, and I figured out a way how, through adding to my calendar, I'm accountable to my calendar. So when I try to do annual client reviews, I think it was started in October. We came back from Sales Mastery in September, and I was having that same mistake, and I realized, okay, so what is the best practices I'm doing in the mortgage business, and how can I bring that to managing my calendar? So we reach out to there's 900 people total in my database that I picked out. And out of that 900, we target roughly about 600. From those 600 that we've done, we've marketed to so far. And I explained the last video, and Dave, let me know if you want me to go in detail about how we marketed to them, how we reached out, what technology we used. But out of that,
I'll get to that process, but let's kind of do the how, the results, net it out, see what questions we have from the audience, and we could always take some of the past interviews we've done and put them below as follow-up items.
Cool. So 128 annual mortgage reviews. So that's me reaching out, or my team reaching out to the client through technology. They respond back and they schedule my team on my calendars. 128 in the last 90 days. All this is from, and this we've tracked it. We did a horrible job October and November and December tracking it. This is just from January 1. Okay. So from January 1, 128 annual mortgage reviews. We've done 75 total cost analysis for clients. And those 75, I want to stop right there. This is where 128 clients that I spoke to had a conversation one-on-one with over the phone, and 75 of them, they saw value in what I was sharing, which was, hey, I have one goal that stands on three legs. That one goal for a family that trusts in me to be their mortgage lender is on the three legs. The three legs consist of, I want you to pay more principal, less interest for less number of years. So let's look underneath the hood of your mortgage and let's see how that engine's running. And that's all the call really is, man. You're just going through, hey, what's the interest rate? Is it above market, below market? If it's below market, which 99% of them are today, then you look like you want to say something. Go ahead.
Well, I want you to repeat that again, because scripts like that are magic. So obviously we recorded it. People, you can listen to it again, but give us that script like I'm the buyer. Tell me about the three legs one more time, and then we'll keep going.
So it just goes there. So ring, ring, ring. Hey, Dave?
Ring, ring. Yeah, Dave here.
Hey, bud. It's Wally with Fairway Independent Mortgage. How are you, sir?
Oh, it's 5-star Wally again. You did a great job last time. Thank you, Wally.
Thanks, you bet. So it's 9 a.m. My team had us set up to talk at 9 a.m. Is this still respectful for your calendar?
Oh, for 5-star Wally anytime.
I appreciate it. So with that being said, I'm sure you're probably thinking, I'm at a 3.5% rate or whatever your rate's at, and why is my mortgage lender calling me when I know rates are higher? Is that kind of on your radar?
I mean, I was curious, but you did such a great job last time. I had to take the call.
So here's the biggest thing, man. You trusted me with your family's finances when we closed on the mortgage last time, and I got to tell you, I did not really respect that as much as I'm wanting to today. And with that being said, this is my 20th year in mortgage lending. And my 20th year in mortgage lending, I've always closed clients' loans and just went to the next one, the next one, next one. So I made a commitment that out of my database, out of past clients, out of past families that I've served, I'm going to serve you better. So the biggest thing I want to reach out to today is, how can I help you pay more principal, less interest for less number of years? That's the goal of the call. Would that be helpful to you today?
Love it. Let's go.
Yeah. Then I go through, okay, great. So I've got my total cost analysis up. Here's the rate, here's your payments, here's your balance. I've got it all kind of broken down. And it's kind of sharing with them, okay, here are a couple tweaks that if you add an extra $50 extra a month, $100 extra a month, $150 extra a month, you knock off 3 years off your mortgage. This is how much more equity you'll have. This is how much less interest you'll have. Then at the end, do you want this kind of pay raise and grow your family's net worth?
Love this. So I want to do a couple things. You noticed that when I did the role play and I was a realtor, I wasn't the coolest, warmest person, because not every realtor is. And by the way, as you noticed that when I was the past customer, I was warm and cool. And by the way, that's not unusual. So that's another thing that I think loan officers need to factor in, is that if you're doing annual reviews right, it's like energy. I mean, not only are you getting loans, and Wally, we're going to cover your loans, not only are you getting referrals, not only are you building clients for life, you're talking to people that are actually fun to talk to, people that you gave 5-star service to, that like you and respect you. And so I want everybody to factor that into it also, is that if you do this right, your job becomes more fun, And so, well, I want to net out a couple things. So how many total loans from your, 128 conversations, 70, call it quality conversations that included a total cost analysis presentation, and that resulted in how many loans so far?
So 38 applications and 24 closed loans. Closed and funded loans. So yeah, go ahead.
So by the way, if you took that out of Wally's production, he's flat, and so, this was something, and by the way, Wally was very thoughtful coming out of Sales Mastery, saying, hey, I've kind of hit this glass ceiling and I want to take it to the next level. So that means I need to add a new strategy. I need to do something, systematically consistent, well-resourced. He picked annual reviews, and here he is. Check it out. He would be flat if he didn't do this. And now because he did it, he's up. So I hope everybody's taking notes that annual reviews are not only important because they give you energy, they give you loans, they put you up. By the way, they're also important because when 2020 comes, and it is coming fast, and Amazon's in our space, there's more internet technology companies doing mortgages than ever. Wally's got an advantage because he's friends. You know, he is a digital friend with hundreds of families that know that Wally is taking care of the three legs of the stool. And by the way, the internet lenders are not going to be doing that.
Yeah, and that's huge, and that's great. But also, candidly, I wanted to grow my network. I don't have equity in my business if I don't have a database. My business is worth squat. So think about it as a business owner. You built $100 million producing business that nets a lot of cash flow, but you only get 1 year multiplier on that business because once you step out, there's no prospecting, the business stops. How do you build a 3-year multiplier on your business? How do you build a 5-year multiplier? How do you build legacy income? So I'm 39, about to be 40, which we'll set that aside for a second. Like, I've got 5 more years left in me of originating loans in my head that I want to focus on, hey, how can I build this to where at 45, I'm done, I'm out of the business, but I'm still receiving a residual income from the business. And the database and the past clients, annual mortgage review, mortgage coach was the vehicle that I'm growing my net worth with.
Hey, I want to do a footnote real quick because that just reminded me of an interview I did it's been over a month with Danny Harani. I'm going to put a link below. And Danny is, in his market, there are a number of agents that are selling their real estate practice and getting some really nice multiples on it. And the most important thing, like if you're a realtor and you want to sell your real estate practice, it's all about what percentage of the business that you're doing is coming from your database and is predictable. And so listen to that call down below because Danny was actually brought in by a past celebrity realtor that's killing in his market, sold his practice, and now he's teaching other realtors to do it. And it's all about the value of your database. So I think, I came into the year saying that the number one strategy for every referral-based local lender is annual reviews, because it really comes down to, it is the best way of really building a human connection, a valuable connection, and it's a touch point that generates loans and leads. So anyways, I think we're beating it up a little bit, but I do want to make sure we're connecting. Wally, how many, you got 25 loans. How many referrals did you get that you were able to give back to agents or other types of referral partners? Could you speak to that a little bit? And by the way,
Yep.
I'm going to get a script from you on that, on how do you ask for the referral. So be ready for that, man.
No worries. All right. So there's 6 referrals from our partners. The only reason I got those 6 referrals that are also part of those closings is that we gave out 13 referrals to our wealth partners. And I love that word. The word is wealth partners, and that's not mine. That's Dave's. I've stole it from Dave, putting everything out there. And the wealth partners of our real estate teams. And everybody understands what BNI is. It's like a networking group. The vision that I had coming back from Sales Mastery in 2014 was, how can I build a BNI group around every mega agent that I work with? So go find a $75 to $100 million real estate mega agent team. We do loans phenomenally. But these referrals, 13 referrals to our real estate partners in the first quarter is really huge. Because if you as another lender come in and you're trying to pull away this agent from me, you've got to do a phenomenal job doing loans. You've got to close in 10 days or less, which you might be able to. So that makes it an even ground. But you might come in and say, you know what, I'll do a $1,000 market agreement. I'll do a $3,000 market agreement, whatever the case is. What's phenomenal about that is those 13, that's another $47,000 in possible commissions to our real estate teams that we've referred out to our real estate teams. And I got those referrals from 2 places, my database and the wealth team that I surrounded around my real estate teams of CPAs, financial advisors, family will attorneys, and that wealth team. Guess who I got that wealth team from? I called the agent, the mega agent I work with. I said, hey, this is the vision I have. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I want to try it. Who do you know that is a phenomenal CPA? Who do you know that is a phenomenal family will attorney? That is a phenomenal financial advisor that you want to connect me with, that would you want to receive their referrals? And I'll do all the legwork. I'll refer out the clients. I'll call the past clients. And who do you want? So I got referrals from my real estate teams to build a wealth management team. I got on my horse and started going as fast as I can directly to that database. I probably allocate a good 4 hours of my day, candidly, to database, annual mortgage reviews, and just going through it. So do you want to stop right there and unravel that, Dave, or what are you feeling so far?
Yeah. Well, I want to unravel that a little bit because, first of all, that's a monster idea. And I would be surprised if there's a lot of loan officers out there that have been that intentional maximizing a real estate team. So I want you to make sure everybody connected the dots. So let's just say you take your single best realtor partner, and now you're going to build a community around that person of 1 or 2 CPAs, 1 or 2 financial planners, different types, anyways. And by the way, I call it the wealth team. Wally calls it the wealth partners. And by the way, I didn't make that up. I mean, everything that I have is just something I've gained from all the interviews that I've done. I've interviewed people, and what I say is just a reflection back of what the best loan officers in the country do. So first of all, Wally, we could do a whole call on that. It's, how to build, wealth teams around every real estate partner that you have. That's such a massive idea. By the way, if anybody else is doing that, please comment in questions and say, hey, I'm doing that, and share your success, because I think I want to plan a mastermind call and just focus on that topic, Wally. By the way, would you be willing to come to one of our Friday masterminds at 9 o'clock and just mastermind around that topic?
If you email my team and you schedule it, I come in Friday, it's on my calendar. Yes, 110%. So you guys schedule
Okay.
Schedule me. That's all I need.
All right. I will get that. I'll get Wally on a Friday call, and stay tuned, everybody. I'll let you know in our Productivity Mastermind Facebook group, we were going to have a whole conversation around that topic. So I do want to make sure we bake the cake on the annual review piece. And we covered how you tee it up with the 3 legs of the stool. We covered that you're getting referrals to give back to your partners. I want to make sure, given that you've done it 75 times this year, how do you position the total cost analysis within that annual review? Help us. How do you position it? Who does what on your team? Like, is your team doing the TCA? Are you doing the TCA? Let's make sure we really bake the cake on how you integrate that in your annual reviews.
So you go back to being a past client, Dave, and I've called you. We've done the warm and fuzzies. I tell you that I'm living the dream, and you laugh. And I said, great, let's lift the hood and go through the mortgage. And I said, go through, compare your rate to what the current market is, compare how much your principal is, how much your interest, how many years left are on your mortgage, and the total cost analysis breaks all that down for you. That I've done zero effort there. And then what's great about that to me is that I've got all this digitally. So now I want to make a deposit into them. And my simple script is that, hey, how talented are you, Mr. Client, with a amortization schedule and prepayment graphs? Majority would say that I know an amortization schedule well, but prepayment graphs, what is that? Well, I want to maximize your wealth. I want you, when you go sell your home 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, I want you to walk away with more equity from your sale than the mortgage company making an interest off you. Okay, would that be okay with you? Ha ha, laugh, da da da. Okay, cool. So with that being said, do you know how much more equity you'd have in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years if you had an extra $50 extra a month? Have you ever Googled that information, or $100 extra a month, or $200 extra a month? 10 out of 10 times, like, well, yeah, I guess I can spend some time online and get that, Wally. I don't know exactly. Well, the response is really easy. I say, you know what? We already closed. We funded. You've been in your house for a year, 12 months. I already cashed out a commission check. Well, that being said, let me make another deposit into you, because I want full transparency. I want to earn the opportunity for referrals to your families and friends. but I don't feel I've got the right to ask for that opportunity unless I'm giving. Would you agree? Yeah, absolutely. But you're great, Wally. We'll refer you. Well, you know what? Thank you. I'm the middle child, middle of three boys, and I just want to make sure that I'm giving. So that being said, why don't you allow my team and I to update your total cost analysis, your annual mortgage review that we did last time when you purchased the home. We'll update that and show you how much more principal you'll pay, how much less interest that you'll have to pay, and how many less years you'll have to pay if you just simply add an extra $50, $100, or $150 extra to your payment. Would that be helpful to you? Yes, absolutely. Okay, great. Do you feel that'd be a good opportunity for me to earn referrals to your family and friends? So let's stop there, Dave. Let me know what questions you have. Then I'll shift to where I bring in a financial advisor, CPA, a family will attorney to the conversation.
All right. So I'm going to share the screen just because I want to make sure whether you're a guest to this call and you're like, you don't even know what a total cost analysis is, or you're a loan officer that delivers it here and there. Let's make sure you guys know what we're talking about. So, I mean, think about this. Is that value? Is that going to help the family make the most informed decision possible? By the way, is that a great multi-channel way to deliver rates and fees? No. So what Wally's talking about is that every family is getting the total cost analysis, mortgage options, graphs and charts on mobile devices where he can stream video, whether he's sending it just over the, he's on the phone and it's an email so they can self-educate, whether they're, coming into his office, and he's having that educational experience, whether it's a purchase consultation or whether or not it's just something that is done online, they're getting this. So connect the dots. He's doing this at the point of sale. The client knows what it is, the total cost analysis, and now it's annual review, and I'm updating it. So I just wanted to make sure we connected the dots on that. Hopefully everybody saw that. So you could just keep on going from there, Wally. I think they're clear on it.
Yeah, okay, great.
Unless there's something else you want to add.
No, it's great. So now the next key factor, and probably the first probably until like February, I did a horrible job at getting referrals from and or giving referrals to who I was on the phone with for the annual mortgage review. And I just started like, okay, what do I really suck at? How can I improve and where can I be purposeful with it? So what I said, okay, I was asking them if they wanted a referral. And instead of that, I've changed, we're wanting a referral to a financial advisor at the Wealth Partners. Today, what I changed starting in February was, you know what, I don't know if you know this or not, but we're blessed to be one of the top mortgage lenders here around in Texas or the nation. So I'm always reached out to some of the top financial advisors here locally in Dallas-Fort Worth, or family will attorneys, or also CPAs. With that being said, who do you use, and are they absolutely amazing at what they do? And I mean, would you be open to referring me to them, like in a warm email introduction? Because I'm always looking for somebody to refer my clients to. And I got this idea from Todd Duncan's 5th page of the 1003, where Todd taught us that how do you rate your CPA, your financial advisor? And I'm doing that verbally. And I'd probably say Q2-ish, Q3, somewhere in that range. We'll bring that 5th page of 1003 in there. But the reason I asked that up front is like, hey, how phenomenal is your CPA? If they say absolutely amazing, well, you know what? I'm looking for a great CPA myself to refer my clients. Can you do me a favor? Would you send him or her an email and CC me on it? And just simply because, would you like, if I refer my clients to your CPA, would that benefit you, Mr. Barber? Oh yeah, he might give me a discount on my taxes, or yeah, he's a friend I know from church. I'd love to help him and his family. Coming from contribution again. Then from there, if they say, hey, my CPA, yeah, no, not really, Wally, they're good, not necessarily great, then my response is, well, you know what? I get a lot of referrals of great CPAs, and what's great about it, I'm able to vet them out through my clients and through my client surveys. Would you be open to me actually referring you to my CPA, and he or she will get on the phone for 30 minutes, no cost whatsoever, analyze your previous year's tax returns, and then from there kind of share ideas to help maximize your tax benefit through your mortgage and or other write-offs? Would that be helpful to you? That's where I'm able to get those 13 referrals back in the last since February.
Love that, Wally. So I wanna show a couple other things. We're down to the last 10 minutes. I want to showcase a couple past interviews and calls, just because we're not going to get to everything on today's call. So on the screen right now, you're seeing an article to an interview I did with Rick Scheer. Rick was on our Friday mastermind call. It was all about annual reviews. There was a 10-minute section where he just talked about his process to get 30% of his customers to self-schedule an annual review. So this is $100 million loan officers or $100 million team loan officers method of getting, I think he averages 24 to 34% of his clients. So if he had 100 past clients that had an annual review this month, he'd get somewhere between 24 and 34%, 24 and 34%, 24 to 34 of them to self-schedule a 15-minute meeting with him. So if that's interesting to you, check out that interview. You can pull it on LinkedIn, or I'll put a link below to the recording of this call. Then I also want to shine a light on an article that I wrote to kick off the new year, which was making a case for why the annual review should be your number one priority for 2018. So I'm not going to steal the thunder from that article, but I am putting a link to that below. I mean, it's a 5-minute read, and it just makes the case why it should be your number one priority. And Wally, would you agree with that, knowing that, when you really look back at this year, you'd be flat or down had you not installed annual reviews into your practice?
I mean, 110%. And I kick myself that I didn't do this in 2013 when I was closing 36 million. I should be closing north of $200 million in production a year today. So take my income and double it, and that's what I should be making. But I never did annual mortgage reviews. I never did TCAs past once I get under contract. So if you're a loan officer and you're today a 20-year veteran like I am, or you're somebody's first year in the business or 5 years in the business, 110% you need to be using a mortgage coach or total cost analysis on a mortgage coach. And 110% you need to be doing your annual mortgage reviews to your database. Because that's two things. One, it's a humongous extra income stream that you're totally leaving on the table, cash flow that you're getting out of your business. And then two, you're actually building a business from day one or day 5 or day 50 with actual worth that is worth something today, tomorrow, that has a multiplier. And at the end of the day, like I coach loan officers on how to get out of the rat race of doing loans and building a team that can leverage it. So many loan officers get a realtor, get a loan, get a commission. Get a realtor, get a loan, get a commission. They do that 10 times a month, 100 times a month. But there's so much more business that you could be receiving out there from your database by doing annual mortgage reviews.
So let's do this. We've only got about 7 minutes left to go in the call. And I know one of the biggest pain points in today's market, because it's low inventory, there's price compression, it's they get a referral from a realtor, and now they need to have a high trust borrower conversation. Part of that is a total cost analysis, and this is the mortgage coach community. So could you you've done this in other calls, but could you walk people through your mortgage coach sales process for every realtor referral that you get? Give us a feel for that and describe how you position that. Because that's just, let's face it, that's a huge priority in today's market, so that one, the offer gets accepted, and two, we're delivering value in a way that's unique and better than other loan officers.
I mean, I can't remember my exact words that I used. Dave, you probably find it when I did the first annual mortgage coach interview with you back in 2015, I think it was, 2016. And it was that, I mean, at the end of the day, a total cost analysis, a TCA, makes me look 10 times smarter than what I am, allows me to have a higher capture closing conversion rate than I would if I was doing a mortgage loan estimate, a GFE, like from the olden days. But what's great about today is that we get a referral from our real estate teams. They send us an email, warm introduction to the client. They're not allowed to text us. They're not allowed to call us with a name or number. They have to send us an email introducing us with the client and including in there the client's contact information. If not, we just won't call them. So then from there, our CRM picks it up, and Neil, my chief of technology, helped program and code our CRM, Jungo, with our model. But what's great about it is our CRM picks it up and it logs it in our system. From there, Brandon or David, our two loan officer assistants here at the branch, they actually reach out to the client to schedule it, or they get a schedule once automatic calendar invite. Then from there, it's great. Shane, Christopher, and myself get on the phone and we do a high trust interview with the client, going through what their qualifications are, finding out their goals, needs, what's important to them. And at the end of the call, we simply just ask them and say, hey, majority of mortgage lenders out there just simply give you what your interest rate is, what's your monthly payment, and what your cash to close is. With that being said, I just want to be different. We also, as your preferred lender, adding value to you, and a commitment we've made to our real estate teams, is we also break down your net worth calculator, your tax benefit, and from there, how you can use your mortgage to grow your wealth. Did your previous lender that closed on your previous mortgage 7 years ago, did they do that for you? Absolutely not. With that being said, okay, great. So I've got a total cost analysis breakdown. What's awesome, we use the software that breaks down for you what your monthly payment is, what your cash to close is, what your interest rate is like normal. You're going to get all that. But then I'm going to show you how your wealth calculator, your prepayment graphs, your tax benefit, and how we break all that down. Then I'm going to make you like a 2 to 3 minute video walking you all through it. And would you find that helpful to you? 10 out of 10 times the client's like, yeah, absolutely, that'd be amazing. You're doing that for me. The other 99 lenders I'm talking to, Keller Mortgage or any other lender out there I'm talking online, doesn't have the software. To me, Dave, like that gives us such a unfair advantage to our competition, which I'm very thankful for.
What would you estimate, the total cost analysis advantage is for a loan officer? What percentage increase in results do you think, it delivers, just that one strategy and tactic?
I mean, I'd probably say candidly, I'd probably answer that 2 separate ways. For a seasoned loan officer, let's say they're 10 years in the business or more, I'd probably say you can increase your production by 30 to 40%. If you're an unseasoned loan officer, let's say 10 years or less in the business, 5 years or less, your first year or whatever, you can 100 times percent, 200, 300 times percent close more loans than what you did the previous year by simply just using total cost analysis.
And by the way, for all you new loan officers that are watching this, I mean, it could also just be the difference between a sustainable career in the industry and not making it. So the concept of being new in the business and not delivering the industry's best presentation is just, it's really hurting your career and your chances of success and slowing you down. So one last thing, I want to make sure folks know that Jungo, our friends at Jungo, which you use, I don't think you're using this feature yet because it's brand new. Not only do they have an awesome mortgage coach integration, but they have automated the annual review. So check with your Jungo support. It should be in your software. So it's not something that needs to be turned on. It's just something you need to be trained on. We are looking for success stories. So if you have used the automated annual review feature in Jungo, reach out to me. Let me know what you think about it. And also, if you need some help getting that up and running, we will be scheduling some training calls to do that. So let me know if you want to have a little mastermind around using that new feature. But Jungo on Salesforce now has an automated annual review. So thank you, Jungo crew, for doing that. And Wally, hey man, this call has been fantastic. As always, you are an incredible interview. You've given us a number of scripts. I am going to send a post, or not a post, but a survey right now. Let us know, did we surpass your expectations with value? Did you get some takeaways? If you want to demo a mortgage coach and you're a guest on this call, click the last option saying, hey, I want to learn more about mortgage coach. And by the way, Wally, as always, you get some of the best reviews we get every year. You knocked it out of the park, my friend. Super grateful for you, man.
Thank you, man. I really enjoyed our time together. And if everybody else is in Dallas and wants a mastermind, please let me know. We'll definitely schedule some time.
How do they hook up with you, Wally? Go to your Facebook page?
Yeah, the biggest thing is go to Facebook. You plug in a Coach Wally. That's probably the best way to get hold of me. It's also, I would actually love kind of feedback of what you guys think of Coach Wally. I've broken down last multiple years, like 4 or 5 years in the business, what we've done well, the technology that we've used, what we've done poorly, our success stories, how we've improved, and I've made videos. 1 or 2 videos get released every week. And I just love for you to watch those videos and tell me where you feel I can improve, first of all, because I'm sure there's a ton of people out there doing better than I can. And or where else do you want to see some more videos that can help you, your business? And if you're in Dallas, I'd love to do a visit with you here at the office, and I bring in my leadership team, and the leadership team walks you through what they do, and you walk away with the scripts and models.
Love it, Wally. Well, hey, man, appreciate all the leadership. Hopefully you got value. If you're watching the recording of this and you got value, like it, share it with your mortgage friends, share it with your leadership team, and do annual reviews. Not only could it be the strategy that helps you take your business to the next level, if you're new in the business, it could be the most important decision you ever make. Take care. Have a great day, everybody.
See you guys.